Toronto GM Brad Treliving says that he is allowing Mitch Marner time to breathe, but didn't say that the Leafs will want him back. Our latest on Marner to Vegas coming up next right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. I'm a longtime sportscaster, the host of the Saturday Sports Beat radio show on Odyssey, and a marketing consultant. Chris, a day one VGK season ticket holder, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and the collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Coming up ahead on today's show, we'll have more Marner and a rematch of last year's Cup Final ahead. That might have been the prettiest goal I've ever seen from Connor McDavid on the breakaway. And WTF, what the Friday. So, of course, we have been tracking Marner to Vegas and seeing if there is any truth to these rumors. Mitch Marner could land here in Las Vegas. And yesterday, keeping up with this story, the GM, Brad Treliving, said
tree living.
that is
climb a tree and then you live in the tree.
Yeah, living. I know. I just yes. Treliving said that his Maple Leafs need a change of some of their DNA, like we probably need on this show. You can't continue to get different results unless you have that DNA change. And he said that the Marner camp and he have been talking, and but there's no guarantee that they will be offering a new contract to the free agent. Didn't sound so promising, did it, that they would be extending Mitch Marner in Canada?
So take a step back. That's what the intern tossed up there. And that's the term you kept hearing from Treliving in the press conference. That's emotional. We both need to take a step back. We both need to take a step back. And it's interesting because I don't really watch a lot of other teams' activity, but of course, with the Marner situation, we're keeping an eye on what's happening up there in Toronto. And it's I don't know what my vibe was, first of all, on Treliving as far as his pulse on the team and his ability to put the team in a better place. I'm not saying he's a bad general manager or anything like that. We're not going that far, but you just wonder. I mean, how is, like, I get the DNA comments, and I actually was looking at the Leafs results over the last long time, and so many either missed playoffs, first round exits. So the DNA comment makes sense. It does make sense to me. And I think they started that process when they hired Craig Berube, who's a fantastic coach, Stanley Cup champion. And I think that's the DNA change. But now, like, what more does that team, like, are they at the point where they're going to just bye-bye Marner? Like, it's hard to completely buy into that listening to the way he was talking yesterday. But in the same breath, listening to the way he was talking yesterday, I think Marner and the Leafs are done.
Yes, the way he was talking, I got the same impression. And Treliving said that the discussion with Marner, he had one at exit interviews, said Marner has a say along with his camp. They're going to have contact.
That's a big statement.
You have to prepare for every outcome. That kind of threw me a little bit, and I'm starting to get that same belief as you. He said he wasn't deflecting, just no answer. And again, they probably, I think for them to include Marner, right, in these conversations, I think it's definitely leaning toward a sign and trade either here in Vegas or elsewhere.
It's leaning towards a breakup one way or the other. What else I found interesting, I remember interviewing Ryan Reeves last year before the charity softball game, and he actually brought up a comment about the Toronto media. And he didn't go as far as say that which I'm part of it, he didn't go as far as saying we're soft here in Vegas, because he walked it back right away and said, no, there's just more media up in Toronto. That's all it is. But you definitely got a vibe of the pressure that the Toronto media puts on their teams for success, hockey mainly, of course. And because the questions just one after another were pretty in-depth, pretty bit confrontational, I thought. And it was interesting watching Treliving responding to those questions about what he's going to do to help this team win its first cup since 1967, I believe, and get back to the cup final and everything. And then I still just have such a hard time going back to the fact that getting rid of Mitch Marner makes this team better some way, somehow, right? I mean, every GM at the end of the season, even the Stanley Cup winning GM, they're going to talk about two things. We'll talk about a lot of things, but there's two pretty simple goals when you break down what they're trying to achieve. Better than last year, right? Whatever that means, better than last year, and get to a cup final and ultimately win the Stanley Cup. That's what the goal is. That's what these GMs sit and talk about. And we were wondering last year, Kelly McCrimmon's camp, how is Kelly McCrimmon going to make the Vegas Golden Knights better? Well, it looked like he did. They had a better regular season, not necessarily postseason, but better regular season. It appeared
He built a better regular season team.
fine, but they took a step forward as far as results go, Tony. This is another discussion.
It's WTF. It's WTF.
On paper, they built a team that took a step forward in the regular season and the playoffs year over year. Toronto, one more second. Toronto is in that same breath. They need to sell it to the season ticket members and the fans and the locals and everything. This team's going to be better. This team's going to be better. Okay, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, you're gone. New DNA, go. That I don't buy that part. I don't understand.
John Tavares is also, he's gone, pending UFA.
That's what it seems like. That one seems like it's done.
Yeah, and then but he did say that he wants to get a deal done for Matthew Nyes, who is really exceptional. I think
that's a huge deal. It's going to.
I know, but that's funny that he just said he had no commitment, right, on Marner, no commitment on Tavares. Oh, Nyes, yeah, great guy.
I mean, he's a 23-year-old or whatever. Matthew Nyes is, but yeah.
Of course, Craig Berube said that he wants Marner back. I mean, and he was just quick. Yeah, we want him back. Of course, he's a coach.
I mean, Nick Robertson, Matthew Nyes, that's part of the future. But Nick Robertson's another disgruntled player.
Jeez. And then Darren Drager yesterday, to keep everyone up to date on what is happening with Marner to Vegas, said that there is serious interest from the Vegas Golden Knights. So this isn't just, it's no longer a rumor, correct? I mean, I just want to make sure that we're
I don't
on
think
the
there
right
was
path.
a rumor, Tony. There's always, whenever Vegas is involved, there's always a little meat on the bone. There's always a little meat on the bone. And it seems like the rib meat's getting a little thicker, a little juicier, and starting to taste a little bit better, too, the longer the week goes on.
Right. And yes, of course. And VGK wants to change its offensive philosophy. And Marner will definitely fit into those plans. Obviously, I mean, he's the number one free agent, right? You would have to agree. He's got to be.
He's the number one free agent in 10 years, Tony. I mean, we talked about this yesterday or the day before. I haven't seen a 100-point player that's young that's going to be a foundational piece of any organization. I can't remember this happening. I cannot, and it still hasn't happened yet. To be fair, there's still 31 more days between now and that, but I can't recall a sub 30-year-old 100-point player hitting the market.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right, and it's
very least thing to do.
Matter. But I'm a little bit perplexed in the difference between a 7 and an 8-year extension, and why suddenly that seems to be a sign and trade issue.
The 1 year, it's more for the player's benefit than anything. NHL contracts are guaranteed. NHL contracts are like you can't restructure like football and things like that. The contract is what it is. So 7 years that if Mitch Marner were to sign a 7-year deal and then he's all of a sudden 37, 36 years old, whatever it is when the deal ends, and obviously at the end of that contract, he's not a 100-point player. He's probably a 35, 40, 45, 50-point player, give or take, unless he's Corey Perry. But so that last year of the deal is probably, instead of staying in his beloved city for one more season, he's a free agent at 37 years old, got to move the family, got to move everybody, and looking down the barrel of a $3 to $4 million AAV. So it's a lot of money. It matters. And I think that's part of the additional year that's being weighed.
And so when we come back right on Monday, we're into June. And then in June, obviously, the draft, and things really do start. It's going to start to heat up. It has to, right?
Absolutely. No, this is fun time. I mean, the postseason is a little longer than what we would like in Vegas, but this is still it's fun time. It's fun building this.
It feel like a postseason to us, does it? Here, there's always news, right?
No, there's always something.
Coming up next, a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Final. Why would you touch that trophy? The Oilers advance to the Cup Final versus
Cares.
Florida for a second consecutive year. Connor McDavid Thursday said he believes that both teams are better. We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NBA playoffs. I need some time off from sports. I need a sports timeout. NBA playoffs. My Knicks are still alive. Everything's in full swing. OKC is in already. And there's highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot, breakout player, what have you, there's never been a better time to get into the action. And FanDuel makes it easier to stay in the game before tip-off, and then also with all of the live betting info that you have. I thought the Knicks is a 4-point favorite. Would they get there? I wasn't believing last night, but they did. Player props, performance trends, same game parlays. It is all there for the taking. And of course, don't forget that you could get that $200 bonus bets, of course, if you hit that first $5 bet. And FanDuel is the place to be right now. And the good thing is we've got NBA and NHL finals there coming up on alternating nights. So you don't have to be having that dual screen action happening. If you are new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. That's right. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back on this WTF edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco. And no, wait a minute. Chris Garlick, I think you did that earlier. That's good, though. You kind of paused me. You put me on pause, bro. So Pete DeBoer, look at that look.
Put you on pause?
You did. You just said, oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Don't cut me off. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Pete,
yeah, well, shut up, Tony.
Oh, wait. So Pete DeBoer said that he wasn't blaming anyone for last night's elimination loss to the Oilers in the Western Conference Final. And then DeBoer proceeds to really throw Jake Ottinger under the bus, saying that he's lost 6 of 7 games to Edmonton dating back to last year. He gives up 2 goals on 2 shots. They trailed 2-0 out of the chute. I could see what DeBoer was trying to do, trying to wake up this team, but it did not have a good look in Dallas last night in that 6-3 elimination loss to the Oilers.
I'm real curious because, of course, when the Stars do their locker clean-out day and DeBoer does his last media availability, maybe his last media availability as a Stars coach, who knows? I'm real curious how DeBoer addresses that, because that's the first question, whether he does that in an opening remark or that's the first question coming from the Dallas media. Probably Tim Collishaw, right? He's the one that had the issue with DeBoer a couple seasons ago. So we'll see how that plays out. But DeBoer, listen, happy-go-lucky Pete will get him next year. Classy Pete, whatever you want to say. Well, you know what? Classy Pete showed some edge last night. He gave a pretty in-depth perspective of things. He made the move. He made what he thought was the big move to get his team back, not only in the game, but in the series. It failed, but I don't think it failed because of the move that he made. So I don't mind what DeBoer did. It took some balls, for lack of a better term, to do that. And how does the owner feel about that? I don't know. How does the general manager feel about that? I don't know. But DeBoer did something. DeBoer's biggest issue we had in Vegas, and teams have had with him over his career, is he's never made the big move to either win the Stanley Cup or when the chips were down. You have to make that big move to stay alive in a series and come back. And, well, you know what? He made a move last night. He made a move. He thought it was going to get the team going. He was bluntly honest about Ottinger. He lost 6 of 7 against Edmonton. He lost 6 of 7 against Edmonton. Is it Ottinger's fault? Maybe take a deep breath. But you know what? Got to make the saves.
Oh, yeah.
Got to make the saves.
Casey DeSmith wasn't much better. He gave up 2 really bad goals in that game.
Yeah.
2,
yeah. No, right? It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. And then DeBoer has now lost 6 consecutive conference finals.
Him and Rod Brindamore need a drink.
Yeah. Those two should be having a discussion there before now they wouldn't have a handshake line, right? Because neither team would win. The last goalie to be lifted in the first period, by the way, was Ottinger versus VGK, by the way, in 2023 in the Western Conference Finals, where he gave up 3 goals. Yeah. And Dallas came back they kept fighting back. I liked some of their resolve there. They did have a response. They were down by just 1 goal twice in the game, but Edmonton builds that 2-goal cushion on. I thought it was one of the better goals I've seen from McDavid. And Draisaitl said the same thing after the game. He said, I think in all the goals that he scored, because I thought he might have gone backhand, he's got a breakaway. And he just was like, there was nothing going to stop that freight train. Nothing at all. I think, was it Rupe Hintz that was chasing him? And I think he's a pretty fast skater too.
Yeah, no, I'm watching this right now. I honestly didn't see this in real time, and I haven't out until this second here. So as soon as this lovely ad by Chipotle finishes, actually looks really good.
Okay, yeah.
No, I mean, listen, McDavid's got that look right now. Him and Draisaitl both. Like there was that meme that came out where Draisaitl and McDavid just didn't look good on the bench. I think it was early. I think it was game 1 of the Stars series, and then all of a sudden, we see what's happened. Right, I'm watching the breakaway. This is a live reaction. Oh, that's disgusting.
It was filthy.
That's just too easy.
Filthy. Yeah, I know.
At that point too. I mean, listen. Looking ahead here, obviously, can McDavid, and I know it's not about McDavid, but it really is. Can McDavid lose 2 Stanley Cups in a row? Because now we're talking legacy here. We're talking legacy. You don't know how many more. I know he's 30. There's a long time to go, but again, getting to the Cup final is incredibly difficult. Austin Matthews came in the league 1 year later. He hasn't even sniffed the Stanley Cup. McDavid sniffing around it now 2 years in a row, and you never know when you're going to be back. So now we're talking legacy talk. McDavid will go down as the second or third best player ever to play this game, depending on who you ask and how they feel about someone like Bobby Orr or something like that. So is he going to be the best player to never win a Stanley Cup? Is that what McDavid's possible legacy is? And that's on the back of his mind. I'm not knocking the guy by any means. Someone got mad when I say I'm not knocking him, whatever, but the image of him crying after the Stanley Cup final last year. All right. I know we all kind of laughed and chuckled at it. A lot of Vegas fans thought it was funny. Fine, whatever.
I didn't think that was
funny.
Think
it's funny, but that's motivation for McDavid right now. Oh, that is motivation for McDavid right now.
And McDavid and the Oilers did something that could be considered taboo. They all went up and touched the Clarence
that was funny.
Bowl after they wrapped.
Dude, did you see there was a live reaction to that in Edmonton?
No, I didn't see.
There's a live reaction, and all the fans, because they did like a watch party in the arena at Rogers Place. All the fans, no. So good.
Of course, right? That old Canadian hockey blood there.
Hey, on FanDuel, we have 25-26 Stanley Cup odds really fast for next season. Golden Knights, this is the first I've seen it. Golden Knights are the 6th betting favorite at plus 1,200.
Are you going to bet it?
Stanley Cup.
Are you going to bet it?
I'm not betting it.
Stuart
I don't
Skinner.
like futures that long.
Stuart Skinner for president.
He's up to 8,000 plus 8,000. We lost $30 on Stuart Skinner right now in the Conn Smythe. So get some. Go get some.
We're looking for odds, though, to win this series, and I think it's even.
I got it.
I think it's even, Steven. In any event.
106, 113. It's even.
It's even.
Edmonton is a favorite by 7 cents. Told you.
Okay, because they have home ice. So game 1 in Edmonton coming up on Wednesday. Florida should leave today to actually get to the game on time. And Corey Perry, Janmark, Jeff Skinner, first ever playoff goal. How about that last night? That was phenomenal for him. What did he play like? Okay, here it is. I had to pull it up. After 15 seasons and 1,078 regular season games, Jeff Skinner finally breaks through 1,078 games. I was like, you got to root for a guy like that for sure.
Depth, baby. It's all about that depth. I mean, listen, in Vegas, there's going to be a lot of people rooting for Florida for Nate Schmidt and Novak. Nosek. Tomas Nosek. There we go.
Tomas Nosek. And they call him Tomas? No.
Tomas.
Okay, so
Tomas, yeah.
Okay, so one other note here before we head to break on WTF Day. Chris Knobloch, 26 wins in the playoffs in his first 2 seasons. That is a playoff record, bro. You'd think he was good enough. Come on, man.
I think he had the experience, but he's amazing.
From the Ranger organization. He's gold, bro.
He's gold standard. He's amazing. He really is.
Coming up next, it is WTF Day. Stay with us right here with your comments and much more ahead on Lockdown Golden Knights. Welcome back on this Friday edition of Lockdown Golden Knights. Call it a little bit spicy today. No, you hang on, bro. We appreciate you making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, of course, and please subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. It is WTF Day. I'll start off by giving you some flowers there. You got to give Golick a little bit of credit, just a smidge, because he said Edmonton's going to lose the first game of this series in the conference finals. So take them in game 2 and bet them for the series. WTF. You were spot on right there. You're
100%. I'll clip that from last week if I can find it.
Yeah, you're pretty good at this gambling game. I have to.
I haven't made a sport.
I don't know.
Literally
Probably
since
not
the Super Bowl, man.
Okay. WTF. What about the Ovechkin email that went out from the corporate sales department in Washington? It said that it's his final last hurrah. Get your tickets now. Hey, good salesmanship, I guess. However, he's got to be fired, right? That account exec.
The Golden Knights, reportedly,
he's coming back, or we don't know yet, but who knows?
The Golden Knights reportedly maybe parted ways with someone who pressed the wrong button to charge the season ticket members too much money in the playoffs. That person got a job with the Caps like right away, and man, that person, they got fired twice in a couple months. WTF? I'm kidding. I don't know that. That's a joke. Relax, people. WTF comments here on YouTube. This is fathoming to me. So Marc-Andre Fleury got traded. I'm done being a Golden Knights fan. I'm burning my jersey. Okay, fine, whatever. Nate Schmidt gets traded. I'm burning my jersey. Fine, whatever. Okay, fine. And by the way,
in this world, who would have a Nate Schmidt jersey? Okay, go ahead.
Golden Knights won a Stanley Cup, by the way, after they traded those two beloved players, just in case you guys forgot about that. So one of the premises of yesterday's show was if there's a sign and trade, who's the trade for the Vegas Golden Knights? And William Karlsson's name is one of 4 or 5 names.
It's number 1.
I think that's number 1 or number 2 at Barbashev, or both.
They need to change DNA.
Yeah, Golden Knights need to change their DNA.
They need some IKEA DNA. Go ahead.
So here on YouTube, we have Pat Kelly 8397F. GMKM moves Karlsson. I am done with season tickets. He's arguably their best player. He needs someone besides AHL wingers.
9 goals.
Pat Kelly, dude, chill out. And one more here. Mansour Corso, if we get rid of Karlsson for that bum, I quit. So the intern got a little spicy and said, have your resignation letter ready just in case.
Whoa.
Listen, guys, listen. All right, hold on a second here. William Karlsson, 200-foot player, does a lot of great things. Injured last year. Should have been a better year for him. 9 goals, Tony, 20 assists, I think. Not much in the playoffs to talk about. But I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. If it's Mitch Marner for William Karlsson and whatever else, done friggin' deal.
Yeah, done.
Do it. Done. All friggin' day. I don't know if William Karlsson gets traded. All day. WTF. I will take the 100-point score over
the 9 goal
last year's 30-point score.
WTF. WTF. Another one of those former VGK players, Jonathan Marchessault, wants out of Nashville already after just 1 season. I say no way he's coming back here to Vegas, but
I doubt it.
Now, suddenly this hug it out love affair with Bruce Cassidy. Where did this come from? Plot twist, bro. I mean, he despised him. Now he's like, I'll show you. I'm so mad at Andrew Burnett that I'm going to just get extra spicy and start talking about Cassidy because at least he makes adjustments. WTF there. Listen, you want to get to some of these listener viewer comments?
I got a good WTF first here. We checked out the new Mission Barbecue in Henderson, Stephanie and Warm Springs. We went there for
yeah, right near that place where Mark Stone takes all of his selfies. That supermarket. Okay,
so we go there, walk in, greeted by a million employees, Food is amazing.
Food's
4
good.
employees check on us while we're there.
They had that salad place there, which I thought was phenomenal. It's right there, right?
No, we're talking barbecue. We're not talking
No,
salad
but they
there.
used to be the salad place there on that
I don't
corner.
care
Go
about
ahead.
salad. We're talking
Okay,
barbecue.
barbecue.
They have like 6 different, again, this is not a paid endorsement by any means. They have like 6 different flavors. And this is what I thought was very nice. They are very military supportive and friendly. And you walk in there, all rise every day, national anthem at noon. Every American in our restaurants stands as one. Why? Because we can. So awesome service. Love the patriotism. Loved everything about Mission Barbecue. Huge. Maybe we'll reach out for a food sponsorship, but
yeah.
So.
Now I want barbecue.
Great positive WTF experience. Mission Barbecue. Go check it out in Hendo.
Okay, let's get to some
amazing.
Gosh,
so good.
You went off right there. Okay, at Darth Tommy 774, our guy. Okay, say Mitch comes to Vegas. Does Duro give up his number 16 jersey?
That was good, dude. What a tweet.
Maybe they can
good
use
tweet.
it as leverage to shave $1 million off the contract. So, did you see what happened?
Go to 61 either, because that's Mark Stone.
Did you see what happened with our very own Raiders? Ashton Genty comes in, the rookie, wears number 2. He gives Daniel Carlson, the good Carlson, the one that hits the back of the net, the place kicker for the Raiders, gives Daniel Carlson a lot of money. He said he could have bought a house. There were reports of up to $220,000 that he gave him for that jersey. So WTF.
So a rookie a rookie had to pay a kicker for the jersey?
Yes.
I'm surprised kickers get that much respect, and they didn't just like no, bro.
He said they started back and forth on phone calls. There's a good little story that my good friend Paul
Daniel Carlson was. I remember we interviewed him during the softball game last year. I like him a lot. He's.
Are you going back? That's my question. WTF.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll go back. It's in July this year. I'm sure we'll get.
I want you and little Chris to interview some people.
Oh, it was great. We had a great time. Yeah, no, I hope so.
Okay, more WTFs. Gary Adrian, do we really think Marner is the answer to the question, or are we better to keep the core together? The core 4, we got to do that on the napkin and get to the trade deadline solidly in the playoffs, and then let's see what's available. We should be able to roll 4 lines all year that way.
Sure, sounds wonderful.
That's Lucifer, WTF. Why the obsession with Marner when the Knights could try to get Bozer and Bennett? Bennett says Bennett's going back to Florida. Both free agents this summer for around the same price. WTF. E-Runs has a little shout out here. WTF. Did you see he put like a picture? He was in Vegas and said, "This is your car, Dasco." I don't know. He caught me, man. Psychedelic, bro. Me and the love bug. It was like one. Okay, so WTF, the NHL absolutely does not need to do anything about franchises in tax-free states. That was going to be our topic. We might get to that next week. But this was never an issue until these teams started to win. And now crybaby Canadian fans think it's a problem. Never hear this brought up in the NFL, NBA, or Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball. Okay, whoa, sorry, man. Major League Baseball. So I'm watching the Phillies-Braves game before, just, again, buying some time before the Knicks came on. And I'm watching some baseball. And every single pitch anymore. Chris, have you watched Major League Baseball lately? They just frame the ball every single pitch. And the umpires
umpires, that's the answer.
You need it. That's the answer. WTF. But the stinking umpires, they don't even see that. They're like, what are they doing? Our good friend, MAC NV, WTF. Pete's handing in his 2-week notice on live TV.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Really,
Todd Lyricos, one quick one. Hang on real fast. And then
you got one. I'll do a quick one.
Okay, Otter getting pulled after 2 goals last night. Help me understand that, because I got nothing. WTF.
The tax-free stuff very, very quickly here, all right, comparing to other sports. Steph Curry makes $62.5 million in one season. An NHL roster makes $95 million. Juan Soto makes $50 million in one season. An NHL roster makes $95 million.
Why do you
so
about Soto?
That's part of why this tax-free stuff hits a little differently in the NHL. That's all I got right there, WTF. Well, that's a good topic next week, whether it's an opener or whatever, but it's a good discussion next week.
We'll have Marner Monday when we return. We'll have to come up with something.
We stretch this sucker out all week. Let's go, Marner.
Yeah, let's keep getting.
Let's go.
There, I guess. Clickbait. We appreciate everyone
tuning
in.
You got
go New York, go New York, go. I've got to get that in before we go to
what's that?
TF. Go New York, go New York, go. Knickerbockers, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
Saturday night. Okay.
Your
hopefully-
accent came out for a second there.
Okay. Of course, we appreciate you tuning in wherever you might be, especially our everydayers. For my man, Chris Golick, have a great weekend. I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again on Monday right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. Have a great weekend and take care.